So the more I read the Gospels, the more appreciation I have for Jesus as a speaker. He uses a lot of different ideas and a lot of different methods to get his point across. Sometimes he's just serious and kind of says it straight out. Sometimes he uses parables and illustrations. Sometimes he's very merciful and patient and explains things. Sometimes he's just downright insulting to get people's attention. And that's what he's doing in the passage I want to look at right now. It's in Luke 7, and it's a little cryptic if you don't understand the culture of it, so I'm going to explain. He says, "To what then shall I compare the people of this generation? And what are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to one another. We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not weep. For the John the Baptist is come eating no bread and drinking no wine, and you say, he has a demon. The Son of Man has come eating and drinking, and you say, look at him, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Yet wisdom is justified by all her children." So I'm going to start with that last part. Wisdom is justified by her children. It's simply saying that parents are kind of known by the way their children are. You look at unruly children, and then you look at the parent and go, wow, what's wrong with you? You look at well-behaved children, and you go, wow, you're a pretty good parent. And you look at your kids, I'm impressed, right? So if you, the children I'm referring to here, were children of wisdom, that would be displayed in your actions. But what you believe isn't wisdom, it's foolishness, and that's why you behave like children. Make sense? Okay, so he's saying to the Pharisees in this particular case, you're like unruly children, and what you believe is foolishness. Your religion is foolishness. And he's talking about how they rejected the message of God. As you can see in this, he says that you rejected John, you're rejecting me. You don't get it. And he says, so what do I compare you to? Right? I mean, you said John's crazy. He has a demon because he's lived out in the desert and was like Elijah, wearing rough clothes and just kind of weird. And he didn't eat bread or drink wine. In fact, he had locusts and wild honey as his food, right? On the other hand, Jesus came acting like a normal person, going to people's houses, having meals, and they called him a drunk. Yes, they called Jesus a drunk. Do with that what you want. But I'm not saying he was a drunk. But he says, so in rejecting both of us, what do I do with you? You're not going to hear God's message either way. You're like little babies. He's looking at the political and religious leaders of the day. It'd be like us looking at the president and the senators and the representatives and people like that and saying, you're a bunch of babies, stop it. Pretty insulting, huh? And he says, you're like kids, like little kids who play whatever they see adults doing, right? Isn't that what kids play? And two of the biggest events in Jewish society in these little towns were weddings and funerals. And so what does he say they're wanting to play? Hey, we just said we'd play wedding. We'll play a flute and we'll all dance and have a party. No, I'm not playing that. Oh, okay. Well, let's play funeral then. We'll sing sad songs and you can come cry with us like we're at a funeral. No, I'm not playing that either. That's what you act like. This is what Jesus says to these religious leaders. You're so stuck in the way you think things are supposed to be that no matter how I send you the message, you don't get it. Could that be said of us today? Are we so stuck in our traditions and our religion and our way of doing things and what we think is right that we can't hear the message God's sending us? Whether it's a guy holding up a sign on the corner that says, repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, like John the Baptist's message, or it's Conway West rapping it, or anything in between. The message God is sending us is clear, and it's the same message Jesus and John the Baptist had. Repent, the kingdom is near. Jesus is coming soon. Are you ready?